Is this the signing that could turn Newcastle United from top 4 hopefuls into genuine title contenders? Or are we about to witness the most emotionally charged transfer story of the summer? After a season that promised so much, but delivered heartbreak in equal measure, the Magpies are back in the headlines for all the right reasons. We might be witnessing the dawn of a new black and white era, and it all revolves around a striker who carries the weight of World Cup final heartbreak on his shoulders. A French international who's been flying under the radar of most Premier League fans until now. A player whose defining moment came not from what he scored, but from what he missed when the entire world was watching. Let's dive into what's really happening behind the scenes at St. James's Park, and why Randal Kolo Muani could be the missing piece in Eddie Howe's masterpiece. What's up, Toon Army? Welcome back to NUFC Quick News, your go-to source for everything Newcastle United. The passion, the pride, and the black and white fight. You know I live and breathe this club, just like you do. And today we're talking about something that could genuinely change the trajectory of our season. Are you ready to hear about a potential signing that nobody saw coming, but everybody should be excited about? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Stick around until the end, because I've got some insider information that'll blow your mind. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the family. Right, let's get straight into it. Randal Kolo Muani, the name that's been whispered in corridors at St. James's Park, and according to Transfer insider Duncan Castles, Newcastle United are now the most likely destination for the French striker. But here's what makes this story absolutely fascinating. This isn't just any ordinary transfer saga. We're talking about a player whose career has been defined by one moment that still haunts him to this day. That World Cup final miss against Argentina. The shot that could have made him a French legend, but instead became the moment that sticks in his throat and will be there for life. Can you imagine carrying that burden? Can you picture what it's like, knowing that billions of people watched you miss what could have been the most important goal in French football history? Now here's the beautiful part of this story, and why I think this signing makes perfect sense for Newcastle. Eddie Howe has built his entire philosophy around redemption stories. Look at what he's done with players who needed a fresh start, who needed someone to believe in them again. What do you think about this approach? Do you believe in second chances? Or are you worried about signing a player who might be carrying emotional baggage? Let's talk numbers for a second. Kolo Muani just finished a loan spell at Juventus, where he bagged 10 goals in 22 games. That's not world class, but it's solid. More importantly, he's shown he can adapt to different systems, different pressures, different expectations. And here's where it gets interesting. Manchester United have been sniffing around, but according to Castles, Newcastle United are involved in this conversation, and I think at present, it looks like they are the most likely destination. Why Newcastle? Why are we suddenly the frontrunners when United typically get their man? The answer lies in what we're building at St. James's Park. We're not just throwing money at problems anymore. We're creating a culture where players want to come, where they see a project worth joining, where they believe they can be part of something special. Remember, we lost out on João Pedro to Chelsea and Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool this summer. But maybe, just maybe, those disappointments were leading us to this moment. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're enjoying this deep dive, think about our current striker situation. Alexander Isak isn't going anywhere, and thank God for that. But Callum Wilson's departure has left us desperately thin up front. We need another option, especially if we're serious about competing on multiple fronts next season. Kolo Muani brings something different to the table. He's not just a goal scorer. He's a complete forward. 6'2", technically gifted, can play across the front line, and here's the kicker. He's hungry to prove himself. But here's what really gets me excited about this potential signing. And I want you to tell me in the comments if you agree. Sometimes the best signings aren't the obvious ones. Sometimes you need a player who has something to prove. Someone who's been written off. Someone who knows what it feels like to have the weight of expectation on their shoulders. Do you remember when we signed players just for the sake of it? When we threw money around without any real strategy? Those days are gone. This signing, if it happens, represents everything that's changed about Newcastle United. We're targeting players who fit the system, who buy into the culture, who understand what it means to wear the black and white stripes. And let's be honest, Kolo Muani's World Cup final miss might be the best thing that could happen to Newcastle United. Hear me out on this one. That moment created a chip on his shoulder that money can't buy. He told beIN Sports, "It still sticks in my throat and it'll be there for life." That's not weakness talking. That's fuel. That's motivation. That's the kind of drive that can power a player to greatness. Eddie Howe specializes in taking players with points to prove and turning them into legends. Look at what he did with the squad he inherited. Players who were written off. Players who needed belief. Players who just needed someone to show faith in them. What's your take on this? Are you excited about potentially signing a player who's carrying World Cup final baggage? Or does it concern you? The timing couldn't be better either. Kolo Muani's loan spell at Juventus just ended after the FIFA Club World Cup, so he's available. Paris Saint-Germain clearly don't see him as part of their long-term plans, which means we could potentially get a quality striker without breaking the bank. And here's something that might surprise you. This signing could actually help us keep Alexander Isak long-term. Think about it. If Isak knows he's not carrying the entire attacking burden on his shoulders, if he knows he's got genuine quality alongside him, why would he want to leave? Competition breeds excellence. And having two genuine options up front means both players stay sharp, both players push each other, and both players know they can't take their place for granted. Remember to subscribe if you're loving this analysis. The French connection is interesting too. We've got players in our squad who could help Kolo Muani settle in quickly. The Premier League can be brutal for foreign players, but having familiar faces around makes all the difference. But here's what excites me most about this potential signing. It shows ambition. It shows we're not settling for being just a top 6 team. We're thinking bigger. We're planning for sustained success. Duncan Castles knows his stuff when it comes to transfers. And if he's saying Newcastle are the frontrunners, then something is definitely happening behind the scenes. The question isn't whether Kolo Muani can succeed in the Premier League. The question is whether he can overcome the demons that have haunted him since that December night in Qatar. And you know what? I think St. James's Park is exactly the place where a player can find redemption. The Toon Army has always embraced players who give everything for the shirt, who understand what it means to fight for every ball, who know that wearing these colours is a privilege. What do you think, Toon Army? Are you ready to welcome Randal Kolo Muani to Newcastle United? Are you ready to be part of his redemption story? This transfer window keeps getting more and more interesting. And if we pull off this signing, it could be the move that defines our next chapter as a football club. Smash that like button if you're buzzing about the possibility of signing Kolo Muani, and hit subscribe to never miss a Toon update. We're building something special here, and I want you to be part of every moment. The summer isn't over yet, and neither is our ambition. Keep your eyes peeled, because I have a feeling this is just the beginning of what could be our most exciting transfer window in years. Until next time, stay proud, stay loud, and always keep the faith. Howay the lads!